G'day guys, welcome to another edition in the GT show. This week is probably a question I get, I would guess weekly, and that's which CRM do I use? Now, I'll take a step back for some people who may be a bit new to this. I have also had people say, what is a CRM? CRM, a customer relationship manager. See, here's the overall principle. I'll just shove up a little graphic up on the screen, in fact, that shows the statistics of follow-up. Well, it's an unfortunate truth that no salespeople follow up at all. I mean, have a look at those stats. Are just appalling that how few salespeople will actually go the distance to the extent that's needed so that a contact or a client even knows your name. So if most people are giving up after one contact and then they just never contact that prospect again, what are the hopes when, as it says down the bottom there, most of the sales happen after multiple points of contact? And in fact, when I did the secret shop of real estate agents, what we found was 109 out of 150, that's 2/3 of the industry, never followed up in any way, shape or form after a guest at an open home visited. Not once. So, I mean, the real estate industry is even worse than those stats that you're now seeing probably behind me now. I'll get my team to do something tricky there and shove the stats behind me just as a reminder of how bad most are, but there's the opportunity for you. If you can stay in touch more often to the point that's necessary to get an irresistible relationship. In fact, I grabbed this slide off one of my mentors many moons ago, that it shows here that, as you can see, most salespeople give up after those first few, but if you can make it all the way through to that 12th, 18th, 20th, 50th contact, without annoying them, and there's the key, you can't go sending out annoying stuff to them, but if you can make it to those multiple contacts, then you've got an irresistible relationship and you become the only logical choice to do business with you. So let's get back to it. What is a CRM? See, here's the real point. If you were to stay in touch with those people, say 20 times, and you were to do all of that follow-up over the phone, in any given year, say you did stay in touch with someone 20 times a year, and each of those was on a phone call, that means you're going to be calling someone saying, offering your proposition, say, hey, you're not thinking of selling, are you? No. And then hang up, say, okay, cool, talk to you later. And then you hang up, and then 2 weeks later, you'll be calling up again. Hey, I know you weren't ready to sell 2 weeks ago, but how about now? I mean, you will look silly if you do that, but here's the principle. The more you mix up the media, meaning the more you stay in touch via phone calls and different media, whether that's SMSs, they see you on social media, maybe you pop round or pop a letterbox drop or a letter or some sort of SMS or whatever it might be. The more you mix up the media, the more contact your prospect is going to tolerate from you. And you end up looking like you're omnipresent in their world, but not to the point where, you're calling every 2 weeks saying, how about now, how about now? So what a CRM does is it puts on autopilot a certain percentage of those follow-up pieces. So as you can see on that graphic that's now behind me, what we might need to do in any given year, say 12 to 18 to 24 points of contact in any given year, how many times are those you're going to decide how many times those contact points are going to be done by phone. How many times they're going to be done by popping around or knocking on the door and saying hi. How many times you're going to invite them to an event via a little postcard or an SMS or an email. And you're going to mix up the media. Then you're going to use, let's get back to it now, the CRM, the Customer Relationship Manager. There are a bunch of them on the market, and there's some links below to a free trial to one of my favorites, where it does 3/4 of the contact or half the contact or some percentage of the contact it does for you. Because if you were going to try and do all of those contact pieces by phone, like I said, you're going to look a bit silly or sound a little bit silly, but B, you're going to spend your time doing nothing but making phone calls. Because here's the point I'm going to make to the real estate people. You don't have enough time to stay in touch as often as they need you to, unless you're going to live and breathe and die on the phone. See, you haven't got the time to make all those contact points by phone call. What we need to do is have those things either automated or semi-automated. So what do I mean by automated? That means your CRM does it for you. Like, it sends out an email 2 weeks after you meet them saying, hey, it was great to meet you a fortnight ago, blah, blah, blah. SMS that goes out automatically 3 weeks after that says, hey, I was driving past your place the other day and I thought of you. Just let me know if ever I can help. And then another 6 weeks, it sends out a letter. Now that's semi-automation, because then sometimes, depending on your CRM, like I said, the one below, it's just a one-click process. You click today's letters and it prints out the people, like some of the people are at the 6-week mark, some of the people are at the 2-year mark, and it might print out a different letter according to how you set it up. But yeah, so that's what the CRM does, is it automates and it semi-automates. Another example of semi-automation is it might just remind you or your PA to pop round or to make a phone call or to send a gift or to do something that really requires physical something, whatever that might be. So whether your CRM is reminding you to do things, doing things for you, and keeping you up to date with that client, that's all probably the subject of more in-depth study. You need to probably study what to write and what to send. Bunch of resources, of course, that are out there on what those contact pieces, what the particulars of them are. But here's, I suppose, one of the overlying principles: don't make them too salesy. Don't make them too formal and too, much like a brochure and all that. Make some of those communications sound very personable and human and all of that. And yeah, but definitely it's more important that you send than what you send. Okay, because I tell you, if you only make, like some salespeople are so guilty, as like those stats I showed you before, they only make one contact like ever, or one contact a year or whatever. It's just not enough. They don't even know you're alive if you only speak to them once every 6 months or once every year. Well, here's the analogy I've been known to cheekily use before. If you're a man and you're courting a lady, or if you're a lady, just imagine your husband or your significant other is courting you. And if the fellow of that courtship only stayed in touch with the lady he's trying to seduce once every 3 months or 6 months, what are the hopes of him, let's just say, getting lucky? The answer's none, right? None. No matter how good that first date might have been, you call 6 months later, bud, you got no hope. It's the same with your prospects and your clients, guys. You call once every year, you got no hope. You got to wear them down, and using your CRM to do some of that heavy lifting for you will absolutely take the weight off your shoulders of making these constant follow-up phone calls. Like I tell you, like is taught in other trainings. I know I'm going against the grain here, but you don't have to do all of your follow-up via the phone. There are other media that can be automated and semi-automated. And then if you communicate in a style that's natural and human, you might even build just as strong, if not a stronger relationship using automation than if you're just constantly on the phone. Are you ready to sell now? No, ready to sell now. Yeah, just crazy talk. So grab the link down below if you haven't got one of these. If you're still using Outlook for your CRM, fail. You must take the free trial below. Use the details below, or email my team, or whatever it is you got to do to get your free trial, because Outlook is not a database. Outlook is an email collator and sender, but it is absolutely not a follow-up machine. You need to invest in one. And here's the other thing, they're not that expensive. Certainly not compared to the value they create, and certainly not compared to how, as you saw on all those statistics, no one's doing anything. So you just investing in one of these things and getting it to do some of that contact for you, you'll probably be the only one that's staying in contact with your people 10, 20 times a year. And then you become the only logical choice for your people to do business with you. So there's another episode of the GT Show. Just shove some comments down below on some of your best strategies using your CRM, which CRM you're using. If you've got any tips for our viewers, pop them down below and we'll have a little discussion as to how you're best getting the benefits out of yours. Thanks again for another edition of the GT Show. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.